What is going on, Capsuleers? This is Nova Terra-Ren, and I am very excited because Fenris have just announced the Alliance Tournament 22. So for those of you out there who are maybe too lazy to read through on your own, we're just going to look at some of the key details that they've announced today. It's not the full rules document or anything, but it is the initial announcement, has some good info. So, Alliance Tournament 22 will be coming up actually reasonably soon at this point. A few key dates, I'm not going to go through all of them here, but just a couple to keep in mind. Next week, we are going to have the full rules announcement. That's also when you will have access to Thunderdome if you already have a Thunderdome account from a prior AT or anything. And that's also when team registrations are open. After that, next most important thing I'd say is that if you're a team looking to sign up, you have like just over 2 weeks to do so. Team registration closing on the 30th of July, so not too long. So bug your Alliance executors now. Then we have 3 weeks of the prelim tournament broadcast. That's from the 29th of August, that weekend, the next, and then the one after that as well. So 3 total weekends of what was previously the Feeders tournament for Alliance Tournament. Like the name change there to preliminaries or prelims. And notably, yeah, that is 3 full weekends. So previously we've had 2 weekends for Feeders, so there's clearly a bit more content there. However, inversely, the actual Alliance Tournament, 31st of October and 1st of November, that is a single weekend for the finals broadcast. So that's interesting. We'll get into why that's the case in just a little bit. Talent applications, if you want to commentate, be an analyst, or also now if you want to be an observer, like using a space mouse, a 3D mouse, to look around the battlefield, applications for that are open. Highly recommend it as someone who has done a lot of commentary now for EVE. It's a really good time, so if you do envision yourself being at that commentator microphone, I guess, yeah, you should totally apply for it. It's a really good time, but yeah, there's a lot of really talented people who are applying for it, so you never know, but put your name out in there if you're interested. Put your name into the ring. And notably, finals broadcast is in the UK this year, and commentary, analysts, etc., talent is a paid role, so there's a form there for you to fill out if you are interested. Preseason and signups. Most notable here, yeah, preliminaries will be on Thunderdome. Thunderdome access, as I was mentioning before, if you previously had a Thunderdome account, you will be able to use it from the point at which the rules document is released. So that should be next week, I believe Thursday-ish. And then at that point, you will be able to play on Thunderdome. Presumably, if you do not have a Thunderdome account, there will probably be a rolling basis of invites sent out once you apply for it at that point, but that should be pretty simple. And yeah, so that means teams will be able to practice both cheaply, as in you don't have to pay money for your ships on Thunderdome or ISK or anything. You'll just have access to it and be able to practice and scrim, but yeah, that's really critical, and also Thunderdome is used for the preliminary tournament. Then, what else here? Yep, that should be it there. You do not need to, do not re-request access to Thunderdome if you've already had a Thunderdome account. Your previously supplied access should work for you, so don't do that. That will create unnecessary work for the Fenris team. And then there's a form to request access, so there you go. I guess you can actually use that right now, so fair enough, go for that. Any tournament updates will also be communicated via Discord, so link to that. Now, sponsorship. This year it is the Amar Empire for the Alliance Tournament. Last year's was Kaldari. And notably, they've also announced that the prize ships will be based on the Sentinel and Curse hulls. I know a lot of people who are going to be very excited about an Alliance Tournament Sentinel or an Alliance Tournament Curse. So that's going to be some pretty good competition there. So that should be really fun. Ads, if you want to create an ad for the Alliance Tournament for your group or what something you do that's EVE related, you can submit them still. That's very normal, and there's a link for that. Has all the details there. Now, updates and changes. So, the key thing they're mentioning here, it's still going to be 10v10 battles, but there are going to be some changes, especially related to the normal double elimination format that they've always used. So, essentially, they're explaining that we've had around 50 teams participate in the last few Alliance tournaments, and most of these teams get knocked out and say that they wish that they could have played a lot more matches. So they're going to change it a little bit now. So instead of having a double elimination right off the bat, they're going to use, at least for the prelim tournament, a Swiss format. So if you've played like trading card games before, you're probably pretty familiar with this. This essentially means you show up for a tournament, there will be a number of rounds depending on the number of teams that are registered. Teams that win against their initial opponent will play other teams that win against their initial opponents, and so on. So if you lose, you'll play against losers. If you tie, you'll play against other people who tied. And that will continue on for a set number of rounds. So if you win your first round and lose your second round, you will play against some other team that has both lost once and won once. So that'll be interesting to see. And then they are then going to be cutting down, instead of the main Alliance tournament being a 32-team tournament, it will then just be a 16-player or a 16-team tournament. So that's what we're getting on that finals weekend for the Alliance tournament proper. We're getting actually the bulk of our matches then are therefore going to be in that prelims tournament, and I expect it to be pretty competitive, which is going to be pretty fun overall. Notably, this top 16 tournament, the main Alliance tournament here, that will be on Tranquility as usual, and the matches for that are going to actually all be best of matches. So not just playing a single match and then that determines the outcome. You'll be playing up to 3 against your opponent in even the round of 16 then there. So that should be, yeah, actually a lot of tournament content for you there over that weekend as well. A lot of back-to-back matches, so that should definitely be pretty, I would say, challenging, but really fun. Same admission price as usual. Then a couple rules changes. Battleships, specifically, they're going to be reduced to 2 as the maximum number of battleships in a team comp. There were a lot of 3 battleship team comps in the last Alliance tournament, so I guess the intention there is to create a bit more comp diversity by restricting numbers of battleships even. So that should be pretty fun. Notably as well, some Anger Games rules as well, with fitting restrictions. Battleships are only going to be allowed to fit 1 armor plate or 2 shield extenders, so they are going to die a little bit easier than you might be used to otherwise. Normally, you would have a points discount for your faction being the sponsor, so last year Caldari ships cost less. They're now going to say that we don't want to discount Amar battleships, so there will not be a discount for the Navy Amar ships, which is interesting to see, but that makes a lot of sense because the Armageddon Navy issue and Apocalypse Navy issue specifically have been really, really good. So I think that makes a lot of sense there. Cenotaph banned, Odysseus banned, notably the new ore ships as well are also banned. So if you've been training your Outrider skills, for example, with the intention of using it in the Alliance tournament proper, you're probably not going to be able to. The new Navy destroyers, we will have those. That is sweet. Now, of course, instead of it being a Caldari ship discount, it will be Amar, as that is the new sponsor. So some, or many Amar ships at least, will be discounted. We do have different point inflation. So depending on the size of the ship, is my understanding, like if it's a battleship and you field duplicates, there will be some additional cost to it rather than something smaller. I believe at least that's how that's going to work. Avalanche ban system is going to be used. That was what was used in Anger Games for the Best of series, at least. So it's irrelevant for like Best of 1 matches, but for all of the Best of series with like multiple matches, those will be very relevant. Zarmazd has been very strong. They're going to go with just allowing it to use that 1 muta-adaptive armor repair module. So no other high slots for it. So you can't like burn over your small ships that take damage. You can't just burn those over to the Zarm and let it get like small armor repairs as well. It is just going to be that 1 muta-adaptive armor repair, which I think is a really good way of handling the ship. And there is some plan for how to increase the likelihood of seeing Alliance Tournament prize ships in Alliance Tournament matches. This has not been revealed yet how, There was some potential of using it as a flagship in prior Alliance tournaments, but no teams opted to do so. So, yeah, we will see. It's likely going to be different than that flagship setup thing, but yeah, no clue yet. So that'll be interesting. And yeah, that's it. You can check out the Discord if you have any initial questions or want to look through what people are saying about it, but I am very excited as an Alliance tournament enthusiast, at least. I can't wait. I live for these tournaments, so I am, I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to help out a team, and who knows, maybe I'll be able to commentate again. That would be very exciting. So anyways, let me know what you think in the comments, and yeah, take care.